Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com, and thank you so much for joining me today for another tutorial. So I am excited to bring you today's project. I'm using some items that I haven't used in a very long time. So I am using the Bloomin Love stamp set. This is a really fun Valentine's set, and there's also some coordinating thinlits that go along with that set. So I'm using the Bloomin Hearts thinlits. I'm using all three thinlits here, and then I'm also using the Sunshine Wishes dies, and I'm going to use this love right here. So today's card is inspired by this card, which I created for my team's challenge the other day. I'm not sure when I'm posting this video, but we had a challenge where we had to create a love or anniversary themed card. So this is the card that I created, and I thought this would be the perfect card to give to my mom for Valentine's Day because purple is her favorite color. So I used Elegant Eggplant and Wisteria Wonder, and then I've got crumb cake here, and then also some silver foil, and then I just added some of our enamel shapes to coordinate, and then some of that silver metallic ribbon. So I thought I would create a masculine version of this card to give to my honey for Valentine's Day. Since I'm already using this stamp set right now, I figured I might as well go ahead and get his card out of the way, and I really like how this one turned out. So we're gonna see how a masculine version turns out. All right, so I've got the pieces for his card here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this scrap piece of Whisper White, and I'm actually going to bring in my Stampin' Up! Piercing mat. This is a little curled. Bring in my Stampin' Up! Piercing mat because I find that the photopolymer images for this stamp set stamp a little bit better when they have a cushion. So for the flower images that we're going to be using, there is an outline image for each of the flowers and then a little filler image to add your color. So the colors for his card will be Island Indigo and Early Espresso, and I'm hoping that this works nicely together. I have not made a sample of his card. I'm making it for the first time now. So hopefully everything works out how I think it will in my head. So I'm going to start with the outline image. I had some trouble die cutting these flowers out when I did the card that was for my mom. So I'm going to stamp a few extra just in case I make any mistakes when I'm die cutting. And you'll notice on the stamps there's this little tab. Hopefully you can see that right there, that little tab. That you want that tab pointing up, or whichever direction you choose to have it going. You want it going that same direction on your filler image so that it makes it easier for you to line up the two images when you go to stamp that filler image in. So it just helps make that two-step stamping easier. So I think I'm gonna do 5. I only need 2 for the card, but I had a lot of trouble when I did this the first time, so I learned. Okay, now I'm gonna do the smaller flower, the outline image. And again, for the smaller flower, you actually need 3 of those for the card. Okay. And now let me move this Early Espresso. Now I'm going to add the little filler image in Island Indigo. And hopefully, I don't want to move this out of your way. Let me zoom in for you guys. Okay, so now hopefully I can line this up nicely. Okay, that's not too bad. So you can see that the Island Indigo is pretty dark, but I'm hoping that once it dries, it'll kind of soften up a little bit and look really nicely with that Early Espresso, because Early Espresso is a pretty dark ink too, so hopefully it'll soften up. I need to get a couple of pieces ready for the big shot. So I've got a 4x4" piece of our silver foil here, and then I've got a scrap piece of Island Indigo cardstock, and then I've got 2 pieces of our adhesive sheets cut down to fit my cardstock and my silver foil paper. So what I'm going to do is take the little sheet off of the front of my silver foil, of my adhesive sheet, and then I'm going to lay the foil right on top of that piece of adhesive sheet. And the mistake that I made when I did this the first time was I didn't make sure that that was really adhered down to my silver foil, and so I had a really hard time lifting the die cut image up. So you want to use your bone folder or something to make sure you've got that adhesive sheet on there really well. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for my piece of Island Indigo cardstock, and I'll just, this piece is a little bit too big, but I'll go ahead and lay that down. Then I'll put this back on top. Let's see. I'll put this on top like this. And then I'll just come in with some scissors and trim that off. I just didn't want to put my scissors directly on that sticky adhesive. So trim off that a little bit. There we go. All right, so that looks good. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on over to my big shot. I'm going to die cut my word love out of the Island Indigo. I'll die cut my heart out of the silver foil, and then I'll cut out each of my flowers using the little flower dies here. All right, so I've got my pieces all cut out. So there's the love and then my flowers. And I found that this go round, it was much easier to die cut the heart out. And what I also did differently is I used my Big Shot platform with the thin die adapter and then the precision base plate on top, and it came out much better. So now I'm just going to bring in my Big Shot die brush, which I just store the little foam pad inside of one of our wood mount stamp cases, and you can buy these in a pack of 4 in my online store. So I'm just going to put this down and see if I can get some of this to lift off a little bit easier. There we go. Okay, so this is kind of where it gets a little tricky. You've got to get these little inside pieces out because they're kind of stuck with all this adhesive. So just get those all popped out. All right, so I just used my paper piercer to go ahead and get all of those other little pieces out, the ones that were kind of stuck in between, and I peeled off the backing sheet here, so this is sticky here on the back. So I'm just gonna set that aside and then find my love and pop this out as well. There we go, and then you've got the little lining here that we can peel back when we're ready to adhere that down. All right, so for my card base, this is a piece of early espresso cardstock. This is cut 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. So I'll just give that a nice little crease there on the fold. Then I'll go ahead and take my heart, and I want to put that in the center and stick it down. So right about here, I think. Just gonna give that a press. All right, so now I'm gonna use my Tombow glue to adhere my flowers down. I found that the fine tip glue didn't really work so well on the silver foil. So I'll just get each of these adhered down. All right, so I've got my little flowers on there and I really like how that looks so far. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is cut at 1 inch by 4 1/4 inches. I'm gonna go ahead and add my love in the center. So just peel off this little backing very carefully. There we go. Just add this on in the center, so right about there looks good. Oh, that's gonna look so cute. I like it. Okay, I really like it. All right, so I was thinking I didn't want to do the silver bow that was on this card. I was trying to make it look a little bit more masculine, so I thought maybe I could do something with this. This is our, what do you call it, copper trim. So I thought maybe I could do something with this, like wrap it around a couple of times and then maybe loop a piece behind and pull it, but not really do like an actual bow. So I'm gonna see how that looks. If I don't like it, then I guess I'll just go ahead and go with the silver, not silver foil, silver metallic ribbon. All right, so I just wrapped a piece around 2 times, kind of crisscrossed it a little bit. So now I'm gonna cut another piece and cut it in half, I think. See if I can slip that underneath there. Wrap these 2 around, kind of pull it like a little knot. Oh, okay, I think I might like this. And then this stuff, you can actually spread it out and make it look kind of funky. So I think I'll do that. All right, so I think I like how that looks. I think I really like it. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this over and just add a couple of dimensionals on the back. Okay, so I've got my backings off of my dimensionals, and then I will just center this up onto the front of the card, so right about here. Make sure that's straight. Yep, that looks straight. Okay, so this is how the card looks, and now the last and finishing touch is to add on the little enamel shapes. So let me just get, let's see, I'll do a small one there, then a big one there, and then one more small one right there. Okay, and that finishes up the masculine version of this card. I really like it, you guys. I like the texture of this copper trim. I really, really, really like that. I think it turned out really nicely. I like it a lot, and these colors look really great together. I think he's gonna like getting this card. And then of course, you know me, I made matching envelopes, and I just stamped the heart image from that Bloomin Love stamp set on the bottom left-hand corner of each envelope, and there we go. There's today's project. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and tell me what you think about this masculine version of the card. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I don't make masculine cards very often, so I'd like to know what you guys think about this one. Okay, remember you can find all of the measurements as well as all of the supplies that I used today over on my coordinating blog post, which is linked just below the video in the description notes, and you can also find clickable links just below the video in the description notes that will take you to all of the supplies as well directly in my online store. So thanks again, you guys. I'll be back soon with another tutorial. Bye now.